Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome. So we're here today with episode 2 of RWBY by Rooster Teeth. There were a lot of comments in the last episode. There was a lot of comments of people, telling me how I should watch these. Particularly, I should watch episode 2 and 3 together, for example. And we'll understand that. We're gonna decide how to do this going forward, because I'm gonna watch these episode 2 and 3, back to back. I don't know whether I'll be uploading these as episode 2 and 3, or whether I'll just upload these as episode 2 and then later on episode 3 on its own separate video. It all depends on how long episode 2 will take us to watch. If we're nearing about 20 minutes, give or take, then I'll leave it as a one separate video. If we're not nearing that, then I'll do episode 2 and 3 in one video together. Just trying to see how it all works out time-wise. With that said, there were a lot of comments on the last episode, and someone mentioned that I should probably get myself a moderator, just in case there are some spoilers going around. And I think that's a great idea. So let me know if anyone wants to be a moderator, because I do tend to read all the comments. So if I had a moderator that could just clean up, the delete, just the spoilery comments, that would be fantastic. I mentioned that spoilers to me, they don't really matter too much because I tend to forget them without context, and that's absolutely fine for me. But in case somebody there can be spoilers like that, simple spoilers oh, I can't wait till you meet X, Y, and Z character in season 2, volume 2. Chapter 5, and these are the kind of things that I'll immediately forget the second I start reading that comment. But then there might be someone that's oh, I can't wait till you see X, Y, and Z's death in volume 3, chapter 1. I'm bro, how? Why are you writing that? So in case more spoilers like that, if you could delete those, then that's fine. So if anyone wants to be a moderator, let me know, and I'll make you a moderator. Now, I was also told that on Crunchyroll the subtitles don't work for RWBY, which we're still watching this on Crunchyroll. If you can't tell, the reason for that is that I've got Crunchyroll Premium now, so I might as well use it. And in the last week, I've been using Crunchyroll Premium quite a lot, if I'm being completely honest, because while YouTube isn't necessarily working for me, my internet isn't bad. Right? I keep saying my internet is bad, but my internet itself isn't bad. It's just that my router is downstairs and I'm upstairs, because when I got myself a new internet, they were due to COVID we can't install it upstairs, and I'm I want Ethernet, I don't want Wi-Fi, and they were sorry, nothing we can do. So that's what I'm kind of on Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi is so inconsistent that sometimes sometimes I am in range, sometimes I'm not in range, sometimes I'm barely in range. So it's just one of those situations where my internet is very inconsistent. But one of the things that actually does work for me is Crunchyroll. So even though I don't have subtitles, this website works perfectly for me. So that's kind of why I'm using it so much, because I quite like it and it works. With that out of the way though, we've got a lot in the last episode. We've got a lot of information in the last episode, which I quite like, because again, I like context to characters, I like context to the world, I like headcanons, I like theories, I like speculating, I like all of that, which is why I liked the first episode so much, because it had all of that in there. So I'm very intrigued to see what episode 2 and 3 has in store for us. Again, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna be reaching 20 minutes, give or take. So this will probably just be episode 2 on its own, and then I'll probably just do episode 3 in 3 or 4 days. And that way, instead of one episode, or should I say one video a week, this way, there'll be one video every 3 to 4 days, give or take. We'll see obviously how that all pans out, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So with that said, with that out the way, let us hop right in to episode 2. What I'm intrigued to see is where we'll get to see the other characters that we've seen in the trailers, such as of course Device, such as of course Blake. Whether we'll get introduced to these one by one, or whether these will be slowly introduced towards for this volume. I'm trying to think the right word here. Volume. I was trying to say season, but it's the same thing really. So I'm wondering how they're going to be introduced, how they're not going to be introduced, how slowly they're going to be introduced, or whether they're all just going to be introduced immediately. We will see. With that said, though, let's hop right in and see what episode 2 has in store for us today. If you're wondering why I've been wearing that for the last couple of weeks, last couple of weeks, I guess, it's because my hairline is a mess. My hairline is a complete mess. So I'd much rather wear that. With that said, though, let's get ready to start. start. Also turn up the volume. Well, no, I'm not gonna go back. Actually, I think it's those characters here. Okay. I said I'm not gonna go back. I don't wanna like spoil myself with like the opening, but still. When I'm seeing new characters in the opening, I just can't help myself. I hope the audio balance is fine this time. I did turn it up, as I said. Motion sickness. Great. I've never understood motion sickness. Like, why... Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. I never understood motion sickness, like how one person gets sick by flying or being on a boat. Being on, I guess, probably even on a ship as well. The reason why I never understood is because, like, I guess they're not really natural things. But, like, because I don't get motion sick, it's just difficult for me to, like, comprehend why that would make you feel sick in that kind of vein. Like, why does being on a plane, why does being on a ship in particular make you sick? Is it just because it's, like, unnatural? Is it because, like, a fear of what may happen? Or I guess I could probably Google that, but, like, it's one of those things that, like, I don't think about. And, like, when I see it, I'm like, wait, how exactly does motion sickness actually or why does motion sickness exactly happen? Again, for me, I don't really experience that because I like being on a ship. I like being on a boat ride, and I fly so often. Have been flying like so often each year that like I like flying. It's not that I like flying. I hate being on the airport and whatnot, but it's just it doesn't bother me. That's why. Wow. Well, that's most certainly fancy. Hogwarts, that's what it is.
The view from Vale's got nothing on this.
That kid's got a close.
Oh,
She's got a fire sword.
fangirling already.
Ow.
Easy there, little sister. They're just weapons.
Starstruck.
Weapons? They're an extension of ourselves. They're a part of us. Oh, they're so cool.
Well,
Weapon
why can't
fanatic.
you swing over your own weapon? Aren't you happy with it?
Of course I'm happy with Crescent Rose. I just really like seeing new ones.
Crescent
It's like
Rose.
meeting new people, but better.
Ruby, come on. Why don't you go try and make some friends of your
Truly
own?
looks like Red
Why
Riding
would I
Hood.
need friends when I have you?
Well, actually, my friends are here now. Gotta go catch up. Can see you. Wait!
Yo, she just peaced out!
Are we supposed to go to our dorms? Where are our dorms?
Oh no! Oh no! She just did a parent. She's her sister, but she just did a parent. She's like, okay, my kid is at school now. Bye. Like, okay, have fun. You don't know where to go? Well, have fun. Bye. That's basically what she just did. She just said, nope. You may be my sister, but you're not. I don't know you. As long as we're here, I don't know you. You don't know me. We don't know each other. Okay? We don't know each other. You're on your own.
What are you doing?
Is that?
Sorry. Do you have
It
any
is.
idea of the damage you could have caused?
Okay.
Give me that. This is dust, mined and purified from the Schnee Quarry. What are you, brain dead?
Snow
Dust,
quarry.
fire, water, lightning, energy. Are you even listening, Steve? Is any of this
Wait.
helping
Stop.
you?
Okay, wait. You just said a lot of things. Fire, water, lightning, energy.
Energy.
As in, like, fire, water, lightning, aka energy, or are you saying fire, water, lightning, and energy are different types? I'm assuming it's the former. It might be the latter. They're like, there are 4 elements, and those are fire, water, lightning, energy. Which I don't think is the case. I think she was just listing, fire, like fire. It's like fire, like water, like lightning. It's like energy, just like generalizing with the last one. That's my assumption here, of course. Also, Snake Quarry. Okay. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but okay. I don't even know what to think about that. Okay, but so it's all like perfume, honestly.
What are you, brain dead? Dust, fire, water,
like,
lightning, energy. Are you even listening to me? Is any of this sinking in? What do you have to say for yourself?
How's that? I mean, it's called an explosive meeting. Okay, we're meeting all of them. we're meeting all of them.
This is exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. I'm really, really sorry. You complete dolt. What are you even doing here? Aren't you a little young to be attending Beacon? Well,
come on.
This isn't your ordinary combat school. It's not just sparring and practice, you know. We're here to fight monsters, so watch where you're...
Wait. Did I not notice that before? I did not notice that before. She's got a scar. Well, 2 scars over her left eye. I was going to say 1 scar, but it's actually 2 scars. Like, one going from, like, her forehead to, like, the middle of her eye. Well, that's not the middle. Well, like, here. And then one going from, like, further to the left down. So she's actually got, like, 2 scars. I did not notice that before. So she's got a scar on her eye here.
It's not just sparring and practice, you know. We're here to fight monsters, so watch where you're going.
Hey, I said I was sorry, princess. It's Eris, actually. Weiss Shani, heiress to the Shani Dust Company, one of the largest producers of energy propellant in the world.
Okay.
Finally, some recognition.
This same company, infamous for its controversial labor forces and questionable business partners.
What? How dare? The nerve of...
Oh, she is basically the owner of the heir of Walmart. The crunky. She's basically a crunky, alright? She's like, well, we're gonna exploit these people as best as we can. That's basically her right now. Well, I did think in the trailer that she was like high class because she was singing what I was perceiving as like in an audience, in a classical audience. And typically, I'm generalizing here, of course, but like typically you kind of associate classical audience. I don't necessarily, because I've been to quite a lot of operas, so maybe it's a little bit different for me. But like typically, you know, operas and performances are associated with high class. So I immediately assumed her to be high class. She's also got a rapier, which is not like your ordinary weapon, you know, that kind of like cleaves or destroys. It's a very precise weapon. And again, it's a little bit unfair to judge based on that. But I thought, okay, she's got a rapier, which means that, you know, it's a very precise weapon. It's a very... And naturally associated that with like a high class person. And then she's also like dressed in white, typically associated with high class people as well. I know it's a little bit unfair to generalize, but like, you know, typically when you draw a character, you kind of want them to be able to recognize where they fit in necessarily. So like I immediately thought that, and yeah, it seemed like I was alright. It seemed like I was alright. Good to get some more information on her.
Company, one of the largest producers of energy propellant in the world.
Finally,
look how proud she is.
Recognition.
This same company, infamous for its controversial labor forces and questionable business partners.
Well.
How dare? The nerve of...
Those two are not going to be friends. Blake and Shane Weiss, they're not going to be
I
friends.
promise I'll make this up to you. I guess I'm not the only one having a rough first day. So, what's...
Down. She does seem to me, that's why I thought she was Japanese. That's why I thought she was based on like the Kitsune.
Beacon.
Very much like an assassin, very much assassin-like.
Hey.
Hello
I'm
there,
Jaune.
Jaune?
RWBY.
Did he say Jaune?
I'm Jaune.
He did, okay.
RWBY.
Aren't you the guy that threw up on the ship?
That's his reputation now. That's his reputation now. Oh, that sucks.
All I'm saying is that motion sickness is a much more common problem than people let on.
Look, I'm sorry. Vomit Boy was the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, yeah? What if I called you Crater Face?
Hey, that explosion was an accident.
Well, the name's Jaune Arc. Short, sweet, rolls off the tongue. Ladies love it.
Jaune Arc, eh? We've had characters so far based on fairy tales, right? We've had characters so far based on grim fairy tales, which is why I kind of like, you know, grim world and everything. That was said in the first episode. I'm assuming he is based on Jaune of Arc, right? Historical figure. Is Jaune of Arc an actual figure, or it's a legend, all right? Well, I don't know whether Jaune of Arc was real or not. I'm like questioning myself right now. I think she was, but I also think that her legend was just exaggerated. You know, as legends, as people in war tend to be exaggerated. You know, typically, especially during those times where everything travels by word of mouth. So is he supposed to be like? Is this name supposed to be a reference to Jaune of Arc, or am I completely off here? You know, I might be. We'll see based on like more information that he might give us, if he's like related to France, perhaps, or not.
Do they?
They will. What if I called you Crater Face?
Hey, that explosion was an accident.
Let me have a quick look. What's that sword like? Is that like it's a bit short to be a Zweihänder. I don't know why the armor kind of reminds me of like it's not really a French. I mean, it's a futuristic armor, right, in an alternate world. So I guess I shouldn't really compare it to like French armor. But like, if I were to like compare it to any sort of armor, I'd probably say like a Germanic armor. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like that might be like a Zweihänder, but it's too small to be a Zweihänder. So I don't think so. I'm trying to like think. I'm trying to like associate him with like. With France, but I can't see how. Besides his name, I can't see how.
Well, the name's Jaune Arc. Short, sweet, rolls off the tongue. Ladies love it.
Do they?
They will. Well, I hope they will.
Good thing I didn't say he's a player.
Never mind.
So I got this thing.
She just want to show up. She just want to show off.
Scythe?
It's also a customizable, high-impact sniper rifle.
A what?
It's also a gun.
Oh, that's cool.
So what do you got?
Oh,
The sword.
I got this sword.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Damn
got
it.
a shield too.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, I paused at the right moment. Okay, so wait.
So what did they do?
Well, the shield can shrink and expand. And it's a sheath. Oh, that's cool. A sheath shield. A shield.
I got this sword.
That's what I wanted to pause it at. Definitely not a Zweihänder. The sword already sort of like, you know, gets narrower here. That's where the tip is. So it's not like a long sword. Okay, so I'm actually not sure what kind of sword that's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be referencing any kind of sword. So no, I'm not sure.
Ooh.
Yeah,
But that
got a
shield's-
shield too.
That's a cool
What did
one.
they do?
That's a cool
Whoa,
one.
that's
The guy's clumsy though. But he's in the school, so he's gotta
the
be.
shield gets smaller.
Good.
So when I get tired of carrying it, I can just put it away.
But wouldn't it weigh the
carrying it.
same?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I'm kind of a dork when it comes to weapons. I guess I did go a little overboard in designing it.
Wait, you made that?
Of course. All students at Signal forge their own weapons. Didn't you make yours?
It's a hand-me-down. My great-great-grandfather used it to fight in the war.
Sounds more like a family
Whoa!
heirloom to me.
You can't just say that. So there was a war. Great-great-grandfather. Did it say great-great-grandfather or great-great-great-grandfather?
Down.
Students at Signal forge their own weapons. Didn't you make yours?
It's a hand-me-down. My great-great-grandfather used it.
Great-great-grandfather. Okay, so about 100 years ago then, if there was a war, Hans fighting the war, be in your prime about 100 years ago, you know, especially, well, like, I can't say especially because I'm thinking about modern times, but if we were to compare it to the modern times, especially with like people having children in like the early 20s back then, just because of the life expectancy, so on and so forth, but because so like 100 years ago, great grandfather, so it was a relatively, well, depending on if you consider it a relatively recent war or not, but okay. Give me that lore. Give me all that lore that you can. I'm here for it.
Didn't you make yours?
It's a hand-me-down. My great-great-grandfather used it to fight in the war.
Sounds more like a family heirloom to me.
These two are
Well,
so
I like
awkward.
it. Not many people have an appreciation for the classics these days.
Yeah, the classics.
So why'd you help me out back there, in the courtyard?
Why not? My mom always says, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
That's a great line.
Where are we going?
Oh, I don't know. I was following you. You think there might be a directory? Food court?
Lost.
Sort of recognizable landmark?
Nope.
Is that a no?
That's a no.
I gotta get that Google map. Should have just followed the advice, honestly. That's it. That's episode. How are we doing for? 20 minutes. Basically, exactly what I thought it would be. Okay, never mind then. So this will just be episode 2. We met Jaune. Well, we met Schneeweiss. Officially, I guess if you want to call it officially, and we met Blake. So we met we've now met all 4 of the characters that we've had in the trailer, the 4 trailers that we've seen. We've now met all 4 characters. We also met Jaune. I'm probably going to keep saying Jaune, just because I'm thinking of Jaune Arc. But like we met Jaune Arc. It's going to be quite difficult with that distinction. It's a very slight distinction, but there is still a distinction here. So, intriguing character. He seems to me like he's got a maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but like here at the end when he's like looking down, he seems like a very chivalrous character. You know, maybe because he's wielding a sword, he's got this armor on, so I'm immediately thinking, okay, he's like a chivalrous knight. I could be thinking that, who knows? But like I'm immediately thinking that is, and okay. I need to preface this because people will like squash this down, right? But like I'm immediately these are all of course speculations. So like basically don't ruin my speculations unless I'm like supposed to think otherwise. Like unless I'm like supposed to think otherwise already, you know, don't ruin my speculations. But based on just like viewing here,
Why not? My mom always says.
As well. He seems like he's got like a chip on his shoulder, I want to say. Like he's got a lot to live up to, because his family is that good, or something along those lines. Like his family is just like top notch. Because you look at him here, and I don't know, he could just be admiring his sword, but like the vibe that I got was like, this the sword that I'm supposed to, you know, master, just like my great grandfather, my great grandfather, my great grandfather, father, so on and so forth. But like, to me, that just seemed like he has to live up to the name, which is actually, if that were to be the case, it might be very similar to like Schneeweiss, who's obviously, you know, this very important figure. And there was one thing that she said, which was like, Young basically just peace. He was like, hey, peace out, peace out. But like there was this one thing that she said, not said, but like the how she reacted more, like when, you know, Blake was talking to her, and basically like, you know, giving her props, maybe not props, but like talking about her family. She seemed very proud. Very proud. She seems to have a lot of pride for the fact, you know, who she is. And she also was like berating RWBY, saying that only the elite of the elite should be here. So like she seemed like one of those people that are like, well, if you're not the best, alright, best way I can describe it is like she seems like someone that thinks she's the best, and like thinks she's deserving of her position in life, whereas, and again, I'm just speculating, of course. Yeah, like don't take anything I say, too much too hard. I could be completely wrong here. But whereas like John's, at least the impression that I've gotten is like he is afraid, or not maybe afraid, but like he worries about having to live up to his family name, and she seems to sort of embrace it. I think that might be the distinction between the two, but of course I could be completely wrong here. Blake kind of just came in here, was like, hello, I'm gonna say 5 words, and then I'm gonna disappear. I don't think those two will be friends, if I'm being completely honest. They'll be like these stubborn rivals, I guess, or stubborn friends, I don't know. But like, I don't think they're going to be the best of friends, BFFs, just because of how diametrically opposite they are. One seems like this kind of like shy, not shy, but like just quiet, hidden figure. It kind of works as well that she's wearing black, and usually you associate her with black, whereas Jaune Arc mainly associate her with white. They could just be kind of like the complete opposite. I think that's actually quite neat. That not just their personality is quite opposite, but also their color scheme, which obviously highlights that personality being different. With that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be splitting these up into episode 2 and episode 3. So if you're watching this, this is the end for episode 2. Episode 3, instead of these coming out once a week, which there hasn't actually been a video this week at all. And the reason for that, again, internet, that's my basic excuse, internet. It's not really much of an excuse, but it's my basic reasoning that like my internet is quite poor. The Wi-Fi is quite poor. Let's leave it at that. My Wi-Fi receiver doesn't quite reach my network. Since they installed it downstairs, when I wanted it upstairs, I wanted Ethernet, and I was like, installed it upstairs, and they were like, no, can't do, and we've got COVID protocols where we can't install a new internet upstairs. And I'm like, bro, why did I even get you then? Why did I even get you as my new internet provider? And I'm like, well, sorry, once COVID is over, you can get call us and that we'll do it again. You'll only have to pay in the installation fee. I'm like, really now? But I didn't say much back then. So now I'm kind of like in this 12-month contract that I've had. With that said though, episode 3 should be out in like 3 to 4 days, and that way we'll have RWBY every 3 to 4 days instead of once a week, at least for this first season, until we get to like longer season, and then it might just revert to once a week. I quite enjoyed this episode. I'm going to be watching episode 3, because again, I was told to watch the episode 2 and 3 together. So I'm going to be watching it together, but like they're not going to be uploaded together. I hope that makes sense. With that said though, ladies and gentlemen, is there like a significance to having that? Reviewing that? I don't know whether Jaune Arc has anything in particular. Trying to see the necklace here. I can clearly see the necklace in there. We go. That just looks like an apple. No, maybe not. No, I mean that looks like a rose. I don't know whether there's any real significance to that. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be seeing all of you in the next. Actually, I'm curious now. No, he doesn't have like an emblem or a symbol or anything of that sort, as far as I can tell. Maybe beneath it there's like something here, but that could just be the armor. I'm not sure. Anyway though, ladies and gentlemen, I will be seeing all of you in the next one. Until then, have a nice day, peace out, and bye.